Yo, this is your favorite friendly neighborhood Toronto, and today we got two news topics to talk about when it comes to the PlayStation 5. The first news topic being that on the PlayStation 5 there is a missing I/O port that used to be on the PlayStation 4. And then the second news topic would be the lack of backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, and the PlayStation 3. Now, starting off with the first news topic, on the PlayStation 5, it has been confirmed that there will not be an optical audio output. Now, this is being pulled from TheVerge.com, where they were talking about Astro's new A20 Generation 2 headset, which is the company's first headset that has been officially announced for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Now, in the article, they were talking about moving your old Astro headsets over to the next generation console. And for the Xbox Series X, all you're going to need to do is give your device a firmware update through your PC, and it's going to be able to work and send the audio through your USB cable. Now, on the PlayStation side, it works a little bit differently, where they also stated that it's going to get a little bit more complicated for people who want to bring their PS4 ready Astro wireless headset to PS5. Sony's next gen console does not have an optical audio port either. So there you have it, official confirmation that the PlayStation 5 won't have an optical audio output. Now, unlike the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, you won't be able to just do a firmware update on your old Astro headsets to kind of move forward. Astro is offering an HDMI to optical out splitter, and they're going to be selling that for about $40. But if you do have your old headset, all you have to do is go on their website, enter your device's serial number, and you can get $15 off, which is essentially making that splitter now $25. And then also for the A20 Generation 2, they're going to be actually selling that for only $120, where their first generation was $150. So there is a little bit of a decrease in pricing there. Now, for the second news topic, we're going to be talking about the lack of backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 5 when it comes to the PS1, the PS2, and the PS3. Now, for me, for a person who owns hundreds of PS3 games, and I have a couple of PS2 games still lying around, and my PS1 games, honestly, I think I have probably only 3 still hanging around. I play most of my PS3 games when I do want to play them on my PS3, which is actually the 60GB one that did have the Motion Engine chip in there, so I can still actually play my PS2 games. And that's actually how I got to play God of War 1 and God of War 2. Now, I say all of that to say that, to me, this news that it's officially confirmed from the Ubisoft website, where they stated that there won't be any backwards compatibility with the PS1, PS2, and PS3. To me, it's really not that big of a deal, and I don't understand why it's back into the news cycle, with a lot of people just saying that Sony's dropping the ball here. But I'm just going to explain why I think this backwards compatibility all the way back to the PlayStation 1 is kind of being blown out of proportion. Would it be nice if they had that feature? Yes, just right out of the box and you could do it. But because they do know that people still want to be able to play some of these games, I mean, you do have the option to do it digitally through PlayStation Now. I'm going to get a little bit more into that a little bit later. But starting off with PlayStation 4, the backwards compatibility is the most important going to the PlayStation 5, as now there's just a lot of live services with those games, and that you didn't really have that existed with the PS3 and the PS2. So bringing the PS4 games over to the PS5 is actually super crucial, as people who are playing games like Destiny still want to be able to play with other friends. And if you were to separate those two player bases, that actually works negatively against those games. So you want to make sure those games are still going to be cross-generational and working. And not having the PS3 or the PS2 or the PS1 games working is not as important as having those PS4 games, right? I've said this before, and I'm probably going to say it a couple more times just to hammer that in, because the backwards compatibility is there for where it matters and where it really counts. So also, if you think about this from Sony's side, if you think like the PlayStation 4, which is selling tremendously, right, is hands down slapping the Xbox all over the place, and we're looking at this generation as a huge success for Sony. But that system doesn't have any backwards compatibility, so you could safely assume that backwards compatibility for PS1, 2, and 3 isn't as crucial as a lot of these people are making it out to be, right? And when you think about it, there's a small population of the gamers out there that really have a catalog of PS1, PS2, and PS3 games that they can actually use. Because if you think about it, back then the trading culture for GameStop and EB Games was huge. Like, a lot of people were trading back in their games so they could then go buy another one. So they don't even have those games, like especially amongst a lot of the people that I know that had all these systems, no longer have the majority of the games, except for some of them that are just lying around, right? So even including the feature, not a lot of people are going to be able to take advantage of it due to the fact that they don't have those games. And if they did want to go back and then play those games, they do have the option through PlayStation Now, right? And with PlayStation Now, what they really do need, besides just streaming it, because we all know that streaming isn't the best way to be playing these games, but when PlayStation Now really adds the feature to download games to all the games that are on the service, that's really gonna open the field and say, yeah, this is backwards compatibility for you. You could play these games, just download them, and you have access to them. A lot of people are going to be talking about the perseverance of preserving these games, but digitally you could do that. A lot of people nowadays don't save their photos onto a memory card, they save it onto the cloud. It's all digital. And with that said, even the existence of these digital only consoles shows a lack of a need of these physical games. But what I find is that people are pitting Xbox and PlayStation together when it comes to their backwards compatibility features and what they're offering, because on the Xbox side, it's going all the way back to the OG Xbox and then the 360 and the Xbox One. But I feel like a lot of people are just missing the context of what it really means when these companies are doing these things, because they're coming from two different positions, right? Where on the Microsoft side, they're really focused on messaging past games, and Sony's focusing on messaging as current and future games that are coming. Because if you think about it, especially after the delay of Halo Infinite, you could see that there is a clear lack of future games that they got, or current games that they got to move forward and to sell these consoles. But what they do know is that the Xbox One wasn't their mainstay of, oh, we have amazing games here. But they do know the 360 had a ton of them, and a lot of people have those. So for people to enjoy the new console, they're going to focus on the Xbox brand and what it's meant to people, and say, play these games that you enjoyed, but play them again and do it better. While Sony's like, we know you've already enjoyed all these games, but we got more games for you to enjoy. Focus on those, and look what we're going to do with this new hardware. So it's a funny thing where you have Microsoft saying, buy this new console to play older games, and soon in 2 to 3 years you're going to be able to enjoy next generation games that we're now making for you. While on the PlayStation side, they're like, yo, if you're going to buy this next generation console, we're going to give you next generation games. And that's why we believe in generations. So that's just where I see it and how this conversation is going. This is not a knock on saying backwards compatibility sucks or nothing like that. It's not that. It's just a feature that will make the experience of owning the next generation console that much better, but it's not what makes the next generation experience the next gen experience, right? And a lot of people are making it seem like because PlayStation somehow making all these new games and not having backwards compatibility is them dropping the ball, and I don't really see it that way. Anyways, I just want to know what you guys think. Are you guys with me on this? How much do you think you will use backwards compatibility when it comes to generations that are 2 generations behind and 3 generations behind, not so much the Xbox One or the PS4 games? Just let me know down in the comments. And I just like to thank everybody that made it through to the end of this video. Please share, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of the new videos that get posted. It really does a lot in helping me grow this channel. I will have all the details on where you can follow everything Toronto in the description. That's everything for now. So it's not bye, but I see you later on the next one. And I'm out.